Allison. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is the day when Spellbinders Club kits become available to new subscribers. And I'm going to be showing you how much fun I have been having with the large die of the month kit. So here are just two of the cards that I made for today's video. I actually have 6 cards to share because this kit is addicting. So fair warning. So here are all the dies in the kit. This is the Dancin' Hoppy Bunnies Everywhere. And when they say large club of the month, look at all these dies. That is a lot of dies. So there's all these clothes and some Easter eggs and a little paint can and a carrot and flowers. Just so many things to dress up your bunnies and have little accessories. So here you can see that I have made a lot of bunnies and a lot of clothes. This really is like playing with paper dolls, and I can't tell you how much fun I have been having, although hopefully it's obvious. You'll notice that each bunny is dressed in predominantly one color, and that's because I had picked a palette of springtime colors and decided to do one card for each color. You may be aware that Spellbinders is releasing a new collection of colored cardstock. And along with that, they are releasing some really fun dies to make swatches. This collection gets released on the 10th on the Spellbinders website, but if you subscribe to any of the clubs, you can order them now. Early access is just one of the perks of being a club member. So here's a peek at all 48 colors, which I've already swatched. I will show the colors again at the end of the video to tell you which colors I used for the bunnies. And I'll be showing these swatches in a future video. Now, I'm not going to show you the assembly of all 6 cards. They're all pretty clean and simple, but I will just show you the basics of assembling and dressing the bunnies. I think everyone has their own way of assembling facial features for their dies, but this is how I always do it. I either attach regular tape to the back of the face and then I just attach the eyes to that tape, or here I'm just gluing a scrap of paper to the back. Now here's the die that cuts the facial features. And I think it's so adorable that there's a second set of eyes with an eyelash to make a girl bunny. So I'm just going to glue these eyes onto that little scrap of paper in the back. And you can see that there's a hole in the middle of these eyes, which also means that there's a little leftover circle. Now, I think most people just leave it like this, which is obviously the easiest and fastest way to do it, but I personally don't like my eyes to look like that. I don't want to say they look sunken, but I don't really know any other way to describe it. So I cut the eyes again from white cardstock so that I could have those little leftover circles, and now I can just glue those inside the black outline. All right, now I can just glue in my nose, and again, that's the benefit of having that scrap of paper behind the face. But again, I very often just use Scotch tape. Now I still have those little leftover circles from cutting the black eyes, so I found the perfect use for them as buttons on the overalls, and I'll show you that on this second bunny right here. I just love adding little features like this, and it's always nice to find ways to use little leftover bits. These overalls are just so darling. All right, now let's assemble a bunny. Now this is called the Dancin' set for a reason. You can make them dance, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video. But for now, I'm going to glue most of the bunnies together. I'm not going to have them dance. And here's a little short and shorts, and I'll show you the 2 different ways that I used the shirt and shorts. So for the little girl, I'm going to tuck her shirt in. So first I'm going to glue on the shirt to the body. And I just cut this from some pattern paper from my stash. And there's this little piece that goes at the top of the shirt that I think is so cute. And you can see I put it on the dress over on the left as well. Now here I've just put some scraps of paper. It kind of looks like she's wearing a diaper. Just little scraps of paper so that when I attach the shorts, It's all at the same level. You've seen me do this before. This is not necessary. These are just little details that I add so that my die cuts just lay nicely. So now I can just add the shorts on top of the shirt. And I'm going to add all the arms later when I make the cards and I determine how I want the arms to be. Now here for the shorts, I'm going to grab another one of those little circles left over from the black eyes and have a little button. Again, just a cute little detail. Now we're going to revisit this guy a little bit later, but I just wanted to show you how he is going to have his shirt untucked with his shorts. Here you can see how I'm trying to cover that line where the head meets the body. I'll show you later how I came to regret this. When I started dressing all these guys and girls, I had made a conscious decision to cover that line. It didn't do the girls any favors because without a neck, they look a little chubby. Not that there's anything wrong with chubby, but I'll show you later. Now, I just want to show you how there are several ways to attach the arms. And that's why I'm not attaching them now because I really just don't know how I'm going to use them on the cards yet. But you can have them up in the air. And so this shirt is really cute. You can have them up in the air. You can have them going down. All right, let's take a look at this card. The letters at the bottom are from that new alphabet set from the Classic Pooh collection from last month. And you can see I've added some paint drips to the letters. I thought that was just really fun since he has the paint can and paintbrush. Now I've put thin foam squares on the back of the paintbrush and paint can, and I'll attach those later. Now most of these little paint drip shapes come from the kit itself. This little drip on the G is the same piece that goes on the paintbrush. And I also use that piece on top of the S right here. So like I was saying before, my cards are pretty clean and simple. This is the one where I went into more detail. Now this little drip here is actually one of the little honey drip shapes from one of the Winnie the Pooh sets. You saw me use that last month. I thought it worked really well on top of the N. And it's nice to get new uses out of other sets. Now as for the big drip on the P, that is from the piece that is meant to go on the large egg in the kit. And I'll show you that in a bit. But now I'm taking the drip that's on the top of the paint can and I'm just adapting it to put on top of the G. So I'm just cutting off the top part of that piece. But I decided it looked a lot better on the R. It just kind of seemed like it was made for the R. Okay, so here's that big drip that is meant for the large egg. And I cut another G just so that I could get the drip formed to that letter. I'm just deciding how I want the drip to look. And once I get it, the way that I like it, I'm just going to flip it over, holding it in place, and I'll take a pencil and just draw around that G onto the back of the drip. And then once I have those pencil lines, I can just cut that piece out with my scissors. Again, I just love adding little personal details like this. I do love clean and simple cards, but I also really love adding little unique touches. So this card was really fun to put together. All right, now here goes the little chick, which I absolutely adore. I decided to have the chick be the thread that links all of these cards together. He does make an appearance in one way or another on all of them. And to be quite honest, I want to put him on every card that I ever make again. He's that cute. And I love just kind of angling him a bit. And his little wings on the side pop up, which is so cute. Now I'm going to add a couple tiny drips falling off the paintbrush. Again, this little piece is part of the die set. And there's the finished card. Now I did add this sub-sentiment, and I'll show you in a minute where I got all of these sub-sentiments that I used on the cards. All right, I told you we would revisit this guy, and here he is. He was the last card to put together, so I decided that I would make him dance, since I hadn't done that with any of the others. So I did need to rip off the legs that I had originally glued on. And I cut new legs. Now here's where I got all of these sentiments. These are from Simon Says Stamp, and I have a ton of these in different themes. You just use a paper trimmer to cut them down, and I just love having a ready-to-go sentiment for my cards. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out the position of his arms. I thought it would be cute to try to make it look like he was dancing, since that was the plan. All right, now I've glued the arms to the back of the body, and now I'm ready to add a foam dot in the middle of that hole for the legs. That is what makes these dance and dies function. I didn't have the right thickness of foam dots, so I'm just grabbing my foam tape roll and I'll make my own. It doesn't have to be a foam dot, it can be a foam square, but I can also just kind of round this piece with my scissors. So don't worry if you don't have foam dots. So once I put the foam dot in there, it's just a matter of placing the rest of the bunny on top. Now I always usually test the legs to see how it looks when they swing back and forth. And this is when I immediately saw the problem. His legs swing, but his shorts don't. And that is obviously pretty weird. And now this was pretty late last night, and I did not have the energy to figure out this problem. So I finished up the card by gluing the legs back on. It's been a long few days. Now I do think that I know how I'm going to get those legs and shorts to work together, so maybe I will make another card at some point to show you that. I am so addicted to these bunnies at this point that making another card is not outside the realm of possibility. I would equate this set to that pajamas set from last year. Was it October? I was addicted to that set too. Again, it's just, this set has been such a great distraction to all the stuff that's going on outside of my craft room in the world these days. Now I'm adding a bow to his neck to cover up the fact that his arms are coming out of different parts of his sleeves. Again, there are several ways to attach the arms, but they don't always work together. Now I'm going to quickly show you what products I pulled in to finish these cards. This is the Perfect Touch rectangle set. I use this a lot. For this card, I used the scallop die from the Heartfelt Banks and Scallops set. By the way, this sentiment is from the kit itself. Here you can see what it looks like in white on top of black. And there is another sentiment in the set that says Hoppy Easter, which is really cute. I just didn't use that today. Now for this card, I took that same scalloped rectangle die to create the grass from some patterned paper. I really was having so much fun with patterned paper today. Now this spring word is from the Four Seasons die set. This came out last year, and there are the three other seasons in that set. All right, she is so cute, right? But she really looks like she's been packing away a lot of carrots. And I'm realizing now it's because of how I attach the clothes. I'm going to show you how it looks when you don't cover that neckline. She looks like maybe she lost a few pounds by lowering the dress a little bit. So she's cute either way. Now for this card, I again used that scallop die, but this time I used it to cut the bottom of the white panel. I did partial die cutting here, so I just ran the die through the machine enough to cut the line, and then I ran it back in reverse so that it didn't cut the rest. Now for this card, I wanted the scallop to run vertically, and that rectangle die is not long enough to do that. So I grabbed this border die. You may remember this from the Vivid Expressions collection from last month. And I also made one of the Easter eggs into a balloon using elements from my favorite balloon set. All right, now I mentioned earlier how I picked my color palette for these cards by making this fun swatch. And here are all the colors again. I used Tutu, Blush, Beeswax, Peridot, Teal Topaz, and Waterfall. And Some of the colors in the new collection carry over from the existing color line, but many are new. And again, I'll be sharing that next week, all the new colors and these swatches. And here's a look at all of the cards. Again, I had so much fun making these, and I'm not done because they're addictive. Have I said that already? If you like this video and you like these cards, please give me a thumbs up. And I would love for you to comment and let me know which card is your favorite. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate having you here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.